What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Drew McIntyre blasts moaning superstars, Andrade hits back at Charlotte Flair having plastic surgery, is the WWE killing the Fiend, The Miz wants to be the next Johnny Cage, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now listen to the intro and get straight into the first story. Our first story looks at Drew McIntyre blasting moaning superstars. Drew McIntyre's new memoir, A Chosen Destiny, My Story, will be available soon, and it looks like Drew has some advice for superstars looking to get ahead. Don't complain, just put the work in. That's the message in an excerpt from the Scottish Warrior's new book. There, McIntyre criticizes chronic complainers, but also praises The Undertaker's hard work and efforts to help other wrestlers. I could also see that backstage respect is earned by hard work, being humble and appreciative of other people's contributions, in contrast to today where sadly there is a sense of entitlement that I would like to weed out of the sport. I don't see it as much now, but a few people would complain all the time to anyone who would listen about being unhappy with their position on the card, about how they should be at the top, they should be champion. Their physique and work ethic and mentality didn't mirror their words. You could see they were not putting in the effort, they did not have a good attitude. McIntyre discusses how he understands wrestlers' frustrations over not being pushed, but recommends these individuals take a step back to examine themselves and their careers to see how they can improve. As far as Drew is concerned, opportunities belong to those who earn them. Why would you give the big breaks to the people who are complaining backstage when there are guys and girls in NXT calling for an opportunity who could sub in there? In the independents in NXT, I saw a bunch of people who have the right mentality, who look better, who work harder because they have the right attitude, and I would put them in right now if I was the coach. To this day, that's what I want, an entire roster of hungry people rather than the moaning and groaning people. The two-time WWE champion has come a long way since his initial push as the chosen one fizzled out and he was future endeavored from the WWE. McIntyre worked hard to rebuild his career, eventually returning to the WWE and climbing his way to the top of the mountain. Given his background and efforts, is it any surprise he feels the way he does? We wonder who he was referring to as to those chronic complainers. Next up, Andrade hits back at Charlotte Flair's plastic surgery comments. Charlotte Flair recently became the subject of comments from Dave Meltzer that the Queen was taking time off in WWE in order to have what he described as more cosmetic surgery, where she's actually getting time off to have dental work done, hence her recent storyline suspension. As reported earlier, Flair was none too happy with Meltzer's musing and blasted him on social media, telling him to go to hell and asking, "Do you have any shame, decency or professionalism left at all? Find a mirror, look hard, Dave." Flair's fury was just beginning as her fiancé Andrade has something to say for the Wrestling Observer newsletter's head honcho. Andrade posted pictures of Charlotte with the following message: workout, diet, facials. I showed them without filters and without makeup what my fiancée Charlotte looks like, and for all those people who comment that she has 1 million surgeries, just one, please stop talking shit. Tagging in Dave Meltzer. So far, Nature Boy Ric Flair doesn't appear to have commented on the situation, but at this point, who knows who else might go after Meltzer on social media? Do you think Flair and Andrade overreacted? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up is WWE slowly killing the Fiend. Well, that's what John Cena Sr. thinks is happening, especially in light of the Fiend's unexpected loss to Randy Orton at WrestleMania 37. During an appearance on Boston Wrestling MWF, John Cena's proud papa commented, "What they're doing, slowly. I don't care what anybody else says. I may be out of line again, but they're slowly killing the Fiend." Cena Sr. went on to argue that the WWE hasn't helped the Fiend's character by having him lose to Bill Goldberg and Randy Orton. You know what, they're taking Bray Wyatt and making him a complete idiot. Sorry to say it, that young man and that character has so much going for it. There again is another situation. That Wyatt family, what a great idea. If they'd have brought Sister Abigail in, then it would have been a great idea. Then they bring in the Fiend, going like hell, right? Then what happens to that? Now he's losing. The Fiend's loss to Goldberg at 2020 Super Showdown was highly criticized, especially when Bill Goldberg was unable to wrestle his intended opponent Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 36. The Fiend lost back-to-back matches to Randy Orton in a feud that has done nothing for either man, leading to talk that the WWE is confused as to how to proceed with the popular character. However, consider this, The Fiend has wrestled since 2019 and he's only lost 3 times. Is it fair to say that the WWE is slowly killing him? Let us know in the comments down below on what you think. Next up, Vince McMahon jokes that Roddy Piper is in hell. Did WWE Kingpin Vince McMahon joke that Roddy Piper is in hell? Even worse, did he do so during an interview for A&E's upcoming biography on the WWE Hall of Famer? Well, McMahon most certainly did, pretending he was taking a call from the Rowdy Scott and insinuating Piper was in hell and it had reserved a spot for McMahon. McMahon said to not expect him anytime soon before hanging up and stepping back saying Roddy is in heaven. Now, some fans are accusing McMahon of being tasteless, but then again, the WWE had Randy Orton claiming Eddie Guerrero was burning in hell during Orton's feud with Rey Mysterio shortly after Guerrero's passing. It is kinda sweet, but kinda weird at the same time. We know that Vince McMahon shared a very close relationship with Roddy Piper, but it's still kinda weird. Next up, Roman Reigns' huge milestone. Congratulations to Roman Reigns, who just jumped to the number 2 spot in the record books for the longest reigning Universal Champion. According to Ringside News, the Tribal Chief has now held the Universal Championship for 237 days in his current run. Prior to this, Reigns won the title at SummerSlam in 2018 and held it for 63 days before having to relinquish it due to the return of his leukemia. Reigns has held the belt for a combined 300-day reign as the production of this video, which places him behind Brock Lesnar, who held the belt for 686 days combined over 3 separate title reigns. Next up, The Undertaker talks the moment he knew he had to retire. WWE icon The Undertaker retired from the Squared Circle at 2020 Survivor Series, a retirement that has been talked about for several years but never resolved until last year. However, what pushed the Phenom to decide to hang up his wrestling boots? Talker recently spoke with Sports Illustrated's Justin Barrasso, revealing it was during his Boneyard match against AJ Styles that he knew it was time to retire. About halfway through the night with AJ, I knew that it was for me. I knew that was it for me. It became really obvious throughout the course of the night that I could no longer physically do things the way I want to do them, and I refused to ever shortcut our fans. The Styles vs Taker Boneyard match at WrestleMania 36 was one of the most popular matches from last year's Mania, with many fans ranking the cinematic match as a perfect way for Taker to leave the WWE. As wrestling fans know, retirement is a painful process for wrestlers, and it's common for them to step back into the ring after bidding a fond farewell. But do you think The Undertaker is retired for good? Let us know in the comments down below. And finally, is The Miz going to play Johnny Cage? Last but not least, The Miz is looking to play iconic Mortal Kombat character Johnny Cage, and it looks like he has some big backing. The new MK movie reboot just dropped, and while the film doesn't have any Johnny Cage in it, The Miz wants to play a character if they ever have a sequel. The 2-time WWE champion tweeted a picture of himself as Cage with the caption, "No Johnny Cage? I am the special effects. Let me do the casting for you. Say cheese." The Miz got some serious support from none other than Ed Boon, the co-creator of Mortal Kombat. He tweeted it, "Guy makes a compelling case. Would you guys like to see him play Cage in a future Mortal Kombat film? Or should the producers cast someone else?" Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.